The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest for you today from Seattle, Washington, Corinne Smith. How are you, Corinne?
I'm doing well, thank you. Greetings from Washington.
The great Northwest. Corinne, let me ask you this. Now, were you the young lady at 5 tugging on your parents' pant leg saying, hey, I want to be a realtor, mommy and daddy, what do I do? Or were you like the rest of us where we kind of fell into it?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
So I always wanted to be a nurse. Like I
Okay.
came from a family of nurses. My grandmother had a nursing home in Hawaii, and I grew up helping her with the patients and taking care of them and whatnot. So I come from a nursing background.
Okay.
And then it just kind of snowballed into me getting my nursing career, and then got my real estate license actually just 4 years ago. So
Oh, wow.
wasn't in the books for me to be a real estate agent, but kind of wish I knew about this a long time ago.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we always do that, right? We always kind of go, wish I would have, could have, grass is always greener. Wow, it's so great over here. But your previous life created who you are today.
Right.
That's how I feel. Not everybody, agrees. You just maybe weren't ready then. I always say that. Who knew at my age I'd be a podcast host? Right? I mean, I used to work on Wall Street, believe it or not. I mean,
Oh, wow.
I started at Bear Stearns when I was 22 years old.
Wow.
And now Bear Stearns is gone, and they were a 150-year-old company. And here I am on podcast. So
That's a
life
shame.
is strange like that. So
Right.
tell me about, well, I want to ask you a little bit more about how you got started. Did you start at Keller Williams, or was that something you started there? You just said, hey, I want to be on the team. Let's go. Is that how it happened, or?
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. I was new to the state, new to Washington. So I grew up in Hawaii, moved to Washington, and I didn't really know where to hang my license, and I did some research, and I just liked the culture of Keller Williams. So I ended up hanging my license at the Keller Williams brokerage.
Nice.
And I'm never going anywhere else. I love Keller Williams. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
That's great. I think it's fantastic when you feel that admiration and that attachment to the company that you work with. At least you get up every day and you feel good about it, right?
Oh yeah.
How many people do we know that wake up every day, our friends and family, they go, God, I hate my boss. Oh, I hate the company I work for. Oh, and I'm like, why don't you just change? Why are you,
Right.
why are you telling me, So I'm going to ask, I'll get a little personal, not too personal, but how is it you decide to leave Hawaii for Seattle?
So I have family that lived in Washington. So I would come up during the different seasons, because in Hawaii we didn't have any seasons except sunshine, which I'm not complaining, right?
Right.
Tough, right. But I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I need something different. It's just, I mean, nothing's wrong with sunshine all the time, but I found myself traveling a lot, leaving Hawaii to explore the snow and the fall, different seasons. And with having family in the Pacific Northwest, I grew up here, coming here all the time, would come up to snowboard and ski and do this and do that. And when my brother moved after high school, he moved to the Pacific Northwest. I always, visited him and whatnot. And then I was always in love with the Northwest, but just never really had a reason to move here. Like my business, my family, they were in Hawaii. When my son was in high school, I just kind of had a moment in my life, and I'm like, you know what? I think I wanna move. It's time. Like I wanna explore, I want more opportunities.
Yeah.
So I told my husband's a real estate attorney, and he was
nice.
practicing in Hawaii. And I said, go get a job in Seattle. You'll make 3 times more money that you're making now.
That's funny.
and I'll figure out what I'm gonna do, you know?
Right.
So that's
Wait.
kind of what happened. He applied for jobs and he landed a really, really good job at a really good firm. So he got a job and I sold my business. So I had a closing company in Hawaii that I owned and operated for 12 years. So I
Right.
sold my company and we both made the move to the Pacific
Wow.
Northwest. Yeah. It's pretty exciting. Lots of
That's
change, but
exciting.
it was very, very exciting.
Yeah, I love the fact, because I do talk to so many realtors. I love the fact when I hear that in relationships, the support of the spouse, right? Even if they're not in real estate, even though he's a real estate attorney,
Mhm.
but he's not in retail real estate, right? Which is way different. And
Right.
he's just like, okay, let's
He was
do
on
that. I
board.
love that. That's
He was
great
on board.
support,
Yeah. My biggest supporter,
Yeah,
he's always been there. So it's
nice.
pretty awesome. Not a
Yeah,
lot of people have that. So
super
kudos.
awesome. Yeah, for sure. So now we know how you started.
Mhm.
Let's talk about today. Not
Okay.
specifically Friday, but let's talk about today where you're at with Keller Williams. Are you on a team? Are you a solopreneur? How does that look?
So I'm currently not on a team. I'm a solo agent, which means I'm a one-man show or a one-woman show. But I do have support, which what that looks like is I have a transaction coordinator, or actually I have two transaction coordinators. So what they do is they help with the back end of the transactions, like the paperwork and whatnot, making sure all the timelines are met and whatnot. That way I don't have to be on the computer doing paperwork when I can be out in the field doing stuff like this. So I do have a little mini team, as I would say, but I am growing. So I just actually hired an assistant. His
Nice.
first day was yesterday. So I'm growing. And then my husband joined my team as well. So he's my director of operations.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty
Now we're getting there. Yeah, I
yeah,
love
now,
that.
now we're getting there. Yeah. So everyone, I'm kind of bringing everyone together and it's time. I've been in the business for only 4 years. And I said, it's time for
Yeah.
me to grow and add more support to my team that I want to build.
Yeah, this is a great story. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like I said, I've done a lot of shows and I've heard a lot of interesting stories. And I've heard a lot of stories that didn't make sense, but this is a good story. Very good.
I'm
So,
sure if I keep talking, it'll get real more interesting.
well, it is Friday. We could just roll on through the day. But yeah, I love the interesting stuff. Don't ever feel like
Me
you're
too.
you're talking too much, that's for sure. But tell me about the future now. Let's put on our prognostication hats, and what does the future look like? Is there a 1, 3, 5 year plan, or is there a bigger vision? Is there a vision board, at the office that you're like, here's where we want to be.
Right. It's so funny that you say that because there's a vision board class going on right now that I wanted to attend, but I'm here. So my assistant is there. I say, go there and go
My
there and go
man.
look at your visions. No, this is awesome. I've
That,
never done a podcast before. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's see what
are
this
you
is.
kidding me?
Yes, this is my first time doing this. So
Okay. But just make sure when we're done with the podcast, you hang on for a minute or two with me so I can
okay.
share something with you. Not that I couldn't share it with the audience, but about being on podcast, the future of, you being on podcast. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about the future. You don't have the vision board, but you will, because obviously someone's, doing that right now. So what about for you? I mean, what is your vision mentally in your mind? I mean, what do you see? I know what I see for my life, my family. What do you see, for your business?
Yeah, so what I see, so I want to continue to be a real estate agent, but I've been kind of dabbling more in the investing side as
There
well.
you go.
So I want to own properties. I have several under my belt now, but I want to grow my portfolio and hold on to properties so I can rent them out in the future. So that's what I see in my future and growing this team that can help me build that up.
Nice. That's fantastic. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the day-to-day tumultuousness of being a realtor. We all have it, right? We all have that thing that on a day-to-day basis is kind of nagging at us. I mean, some of us work in utopia, right? Some of us don't have these problems, but most of us do. And So I always ask this, is there one thing that I, if I could fix one thing for you, if I could just take something away or add something to your day that would make it more perfect than it is now, what would that be? Is it time? Is it better management skills? Is it more employees? What might that be?
I would say probably more help, more actual bodies here helping me physically, and I used to have a virtual assistant, a VA that was, on the computer. She worked in the Philippines, and I just needed somebody physically there to like go and put signs out, to get refill the
And the
flight,
paperwork off too,
yeah,
right?
to do this and do that. And I finally, got to that level of my business when I said, okay, I need help. So I started interviewing real estate assistants, and I finally found someone. And this is going to be really telling. I shared with some people that I got an assistant now. They're like, your life is about to change. And I'm like, really? Because I mean, it's pretty awesome right now, but if I can, I'm excited to see what that means, because I've done everything myself for all these years. It's going to be really interesting to see what it's like to actually have physical support with me daily. So it's exciting.
It is exciting. And you and I, we're fast friended here. We barely know each other, but this is going to sound funny, not haha funny, ironic funny, but I feel like I already know a little bit of your future. I know that sounds weird. You're like,
tell me,
right?
What is it like?
Tell me, Magi. But when you free up time, when you free up the day-to-day time, right?
Mhm.
Then that's why I always ask these questions in the sequence. That vision, or that vision board behind you, or that vision in your mind starts coming to fruition. And all our visions have different levels, right? When they talk about next level, what's next level? What's next level? You can't get to the next level without accomplishing, that bottom line or top of funnel, however you want to look at it, those things. And sometimes bringing that VA or bringing that in-office support in, or that husband, in your case too, to help handle those things. And I got to tell you, I know for me, it just opens worlds that you kind of knew existed, so to speak. Like, oh, wow, I didn't know if I spent time doing this floodgate would open, right? Like podcast. You say it's your first podcast.
Yep.
You could get 2,000 listeners in a podcast and, get 10 phone calls, and you go, wow, that took 15 minutes of my day. And there's thousands of podcasts out there. I mean, it's that amazing. And then there'll be something else, and then there'll be something else. And so kudos to you for realizing that and taking that step, in that journey forward.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're kind of winding down a little bit. How would someone get in touch with you? Whether they want to list a home, whether they want to buy a home, maybe they want to join your team. How would they get in touch with you?
So they can reach out to I have social media, I'm pretty much all over Facebook, Corinne Smith, not Corinne.
Not Corinne.
Not Corinne. We discussed
Corinne.
that. Corinne Smith.
Corinne.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Corinne Smith Realtor. They can they can look me up. I'm easy to be found.
Awesome. Well, Corinne, something I always do every show. This is your show. As I told you before, you're the hit record. I'm the DJ. I'm just spinning it, letting people know about you. Take us out with, whatever's on your heart, your mind, your soul that you think you'd like to share with the universe or the listeners at least. And, just take us out with a good word.
I can end with, whatever my parents always told me, whatever you're going to do, just be the best person at it. If you're going to be a janitor, for example, be the best one. It doesn't matter what you do. Just be the hardest person, just be the hardest working person. And I think just leave with that, just work hard, work hard.
Yeah. Stay focused. All the good things, all the good merits, right, of a good person, I think also. That's great sage advice. Corinne, thank you so much for being on the program. Corinne Smith, Keller Williams, Seattle. I look forward to talking to you again and seeing how things are going the next 3, 6, 9 months down the road.
Same here. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Have a great weekend.
You too.